Good morning and welcome to another attempt to show you how to make your own tree map. I made one yesterday, 22 minutes long, and I put it in the folder, but it had no audio, much to my annoyance. Why? I didn't know. Of course I had to do a Google search, and now I've got Google AI, pops out the answer. Whether I forgot this from last year or not when I made the other videos, I don't know. But you have to check your settings and make sure the microphone is on, because the default is no sound. So here we go again, and perhaps I'll be a little more efficient this time. I've also turned on my keys. It can show you the keys, so if we do any key work, hopefully it will show you too. Anyway, without any further ado, let's start doing this. Now I'm starting it out from scratch. So this is a blank computer screen. This is on a Chromebook, so it could look different on your machine. But what I want you to do is go and open your Chrome browser, because this activity is done through a Chrome browser. It has to be Chrome, can't be anything else, because we are going to be making a Google My Map, so you have to use Google Chrome. So this is the map I spent 20 minutes making yesterday. It's got 3 kinds of trees, and I called it My Test Map for You. However, I can't use it because I want to show you how to make your own map. So if I can remember how to do that, the first thing you need to do is open yourself a new tab, go over here to these 9 little dots, which are all your Google apps. If you're not so familiar with Google, you're going to have to learn how this platform works, and you're going to look here for maps, and because they've made them all the same colors and patterns, I always find it very confusing. There it is, maps. So it's going to open up maps. Come on, open. And it's in the fishhook area, which is fine. Now, I don't want it to search Google Maps. I want that to go off. Don't know how to get that to go off. Oh, it's always a problem here, isn't there? Okay, go away. I was going to show you how to make a few different kinds of trees using the fishhook area. So the first thing to do after you've opened up maps in Google is you go here to saved. You might say saved. It doesn't matter. If you haven't saved one before, you're going to learn how to save one. You click there, and you come along here. I'm going to labeled or visited. You go here to maps, and you see there it is. Down at the bottom here it says create a map. Later on I'll teach you how to do this open My Maps. Create and manage maps in My Maps. Maybe we should have a look at that, but first of all I'm going to go here to create a map. So it's doing its work, and it's opened up like that. I just want to point out another thing before you start. I should have pointed it out before. Make sure that you are in your right profile. If you're like me, you've got a few profiles. I've got a personal one, a company one, and this organizational one. So make sure you're in that profile, because once you make it in another profile, like I've made other videos in other profiles, like my work profile, you can't move them, not as far as I can tell. So make sure you're in your right profile. Now, I sincerely hope the sound is recording this time. There are various options here. You can import information straight away, say you got it from another program, but we're just going to start another program or app. We're just going to start here. I'm just tapping my way in, tapping and dragging until I get into the area that I want. Bit of a laborious process. So you can tap and drag to go into your own area that you want to make your map in. Okay, we're approximately in the area which is down by the Fishhook Beach. Now, we're gonna, you can do this in various orders, it doesn't really matter. We can give this map a name. I just clicked on it. Untitled map, we're going to call this my tree map. If it complains, because I've already got one called that, we'll have to adjust it. Save, let's see what it says. Okay, didn't complain. Now you can call it whatever you want. Could be for a project, if you're a professional contractor, someone in the industry, you can give it your company name or your personal name, whatever, the property name or the area name. I just warn you at the outset here that there is a limitation on my maps. My maps works, just have a look down here, is just going to remind you it's a Google product and it works through Maps, but this particular app we're working on is called My Maps. And then once you've made your map, the amazing thing is you can view it in Maps, and that's the great power of this. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to share data. You can go and map your trees and your landscapes wherever you are, and then you can share it back with us. But the first step is to make your own map. So we've given it a name. The next thing we need to do is, where are the trees? This is just a map. What we need is a satellite image. So you go here to change the base map. There are a few options, so there's only one that we need, and that's the satellite map. Okay, close that. Now we're still zoomed out too far to see any detail. A bit more. Okay, and there's another limitation here. That is as far as you can zoom in, which is about 1 in 1,000 or something. It's not a very big scale. So this is only accurate to about 5 meters. If you've got a very congested little landscape like that, you can see there are a lot of different trees there, and I can promise you the trunk locations might not be in the middle. That one might be, but what about that one? That 1, 2, 3, how many trees is that? What's going on with this here? You just actually don't know. And I've done quite a lot of this work. It's impossible to tell. But we're going to start here with a tree here. It's not very obvious, but I don't know if you can see it. Those of you who draw plans know this is a palm tree. This is the shadow. We as landscape architects are always drawing trees and shadows to make them pop out. And because the satellite image is at a bit of an angle, you can see the trunk going up here, and you can't so clearly see the fronds because they've gone under the label of Beach Road. But this is a palm tree. Now, we're going to be the first one that we add a marker to. And you see we come up here, these are your tools. This one is add a marker. We're going to add a marker here, right there, the intersection of the trunk and the shadow. Boom, and that's it. So for simplicity's sake, Canariensis, Phoenix Canariensis, put the Latin name up top and the common name here if you know it. You can do it the other way around, doesn't really matter, but we'll try and stick to the official name up top, and this is the Canary Island date palm. Now, if you just press enter now, it will save that. Watch. I'm pressing enter. Boom. Okay, I'm not finished. It's quite annoying. This is as it works in a Chromebook. So if I go shift enter, I get a new line. So this is a Canary Island date palm, and I'm going to say it's, this is a big specimen. I'm going to put the height here. Ooh, I don't know how tall it is. 14 meters. Or maybe we'll put a range, 12 to 15 meters. Mature, old, or historic, however you think about it. We're not going to get too excited about the labels here. And then here, very importantly, put your initials, please. You can put your whole name, but it gets a bit tedious. And the date, 18/1/2024. And please put it in this format. Don't use the American format, the South African bank format, which is all backwards. Put it like this, please. The natural way, 18th of January 2024. And you can save that. I'll just point out there is an opportunity to add images or videos here, but we're just doing the basics here. Because you can add your photographs. I'm going to save that. Now, there you can see that's the basic symbol. This is kind of shape, upside down teardrop. You see them everywhere. Now we want to change the format of that. And you press the style button here. Strangely enough, I mean, what color is this tree? You can go on the leaf color. I mean, what color is it? It's quite hard to say. I mean, you might make it that color. You might think that's the color of the palm leaves. Or you might go by the fruit. It's actually what I have done in this case. I haven't developed a standard for the sort of common plants in my area. I still got to work on that. But I'll make it orange, and then I want to use an icon. I don't want that. You could leave it like that if you can't be bothered. But when you want to read your map for readability, you want to use another icon. And there are a few tree symbols. You can type in tree over here to save you time, but the trees are right here under sports and recreation. I guess that sort of parks, and a lot of the landscape symbols are in here, but they're sort of scattered all over the place. There are 3 trees, a conifer tree, a deciduous tree, and a palm tree, so that's quite useful. So we're going to use this one, except this palm is crooked. So that's a bit annoying because Phoenix canariensis is an upright palm and a very significant one. There it is. So let's just close this up. Or you can press escape. I pressed escape. Or you can click those little crosses. So there it is. So now if you come and look in your map here, and you can see it's popped up over here now. I haven't named this layer. But we're just going here. You click that. Say just now we're going to have a whole list of them here, and when you click on it, it'll jump to that position on your map. And there's the label that's popped up: Phoenix canariensis, Canary Island date palm, 12 to 50 meters, mature, old, or historic, whatever you want to put there. I have actually developed a table, a very big, complicated table, because behind this here is actually a massive spreadsheet, and I'm just going to show it to you. This is a very simple spreadsheet that it starts with. You click here, it says layer options, and we go here to open the data table. And you can see here this is a very small spreadsheet with 2 columns, name and description. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. You can add them by clicking here. You can insert a column before or after, but the downside of it, this is a free program, is you cannot move the columns around afterwards, which is terribly, terribly limiting. It's extremely frustrating. Although I see you can insert, you can sort them from A to Z. And you can get on and you can duplicate columns, which say you wanted to split out some of the data and you already written it all in the description. But you will worry about that in an advanced video. And untitled layer, I'm just going to close that or press escape. I want to rename it. I'm going to call this My Trees. Okay, you can name it however you want, because it's another feature, another aspect of this particular program is you can have 10 layers, which is quite useful, and you can create different layers and put your plants or your trees or your records, your map points on different layers. You could have a layer for, say you just wanted to have one file, because you're not going to do 10,000. You don't think you'll ever record 10,000. So you can have a layer for your home garden. You say my garden, and then my park, your neighborhood park, or my suburb. and then my farm or wherever, my holiday location. So you can have up to 10 layers, so you'd have to think about it. And you can move, a rather laborious process, especially when you end up with thousands of points here, map points from one layer to the other. You can just drag them up and down this list, but it's not fun. Nevertheless, this is sort of cheap and dirty, and it is but hugely powerful, and that's the reason, one of the main reasons we're using this on Landscape Heritage SA. We're using it because everybody has access to it. It's absolutely free, and then once you've made your own map, you can open your saved maps out of your Maps app, and you can go and see the trees that you recorded. Okay, let's make another map point. And by the way, if you make a mistake, you can, this is an undo, redo. Undo, redo, you know, that's X and Y. You can also draw lines. I'm not really going to show you how to do that, so maybe I will. Let's make another tree. So that's a palm tree. This is I hope it's like my dog, sorry. And I don't know if I can pause this. 1 minute.